Hey everyone, it's Justin here. Today I want to talk about why it is that I moved to Tennessee and why it is that you might consider doing something that puts you in a more rural place yourself. And to start off with, I moved from North Carolina into Tennessee. The place that I lived was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and it was a pretty populated area. Fayetteville, North Carolina, it has Fort Bragg, it's a military base, and it has about 3 or 4 cities: Hope Mills, Southern Pines, Spring Lake. They're all surrounding the base. So when you put together all these cities and the base together, it's like 600,000 people living pretty much in one county. Pretty busy, and wasn't bad, but I mean, what I didn't like was a couple things, and maybe you have similar things going on where you live. I know statistically, according to the data that's out, it's everywhere. The homelessness was getting insane. Every street corner where there was a major road, there was tons of homeless people begging for money. Drug addicts, all the bridges and overpasses, they had, people living underneath of them. And it got to the point where I couldn't go to the gas station without getting asked for money. I couldn't even be in my own house and be left alone. I lived in the very, very central downtown area of Fayetteville. And I had a person or two who would come by my house and ask me for money. That was insane. I was very, very annoyed by that, and I was very upset with the people who did it. I even told them, this is very rude. It's not okay to go to people's houses and ask for money directly while they're there trying to be left alone. It's sad. Anyway, that's one. The crime is getting pretty bad there. Fayetteville does have a couple of gangs, from what I understand, and then just also. The military base being there, it's kind of a big target for a lot of things. And, most people don't talk about it, but there's a lot of secret stuff going on in the area that you just, don't want to go anywhere near. So that's me, but, I think in the entire country, kind of cities are getting a little crazy. And, there was, last 2 years, summer or two, where there were riots everywhere. And my town was one of them also. There was a couple buildings set on fire, etc. And it's just a bellwether, really, is the way I look at it. I don't think it's one specific thing that are making these people do all this stuff. I think it's the environment we're living in is getting more intense. And it's just getting harder to live, People are under more pressure. Day after day, the price is getting higher, the political tensions, other, events that have happened, events that are happening right now, worldwide, geopolitics, that are making people very panicked. And I don't think people are going to become calmer, and I don't think people are really going to become all that much more prepared. I think they're just going to continue to live their life assuming, things are going to go the way they are going to go. It's recency bias. But anyway, I didn't want to be near potential riots like there were. They were only a couple blocks from my house when they happened. And, man, the police in Fayetteville, this is crazy. You can watch videos of this. They actually went to the rioters, or protesters, whatever you want to call them, and they got down on their knees and laid down all their arms in front of them. The people had been breaking into all types of stores and buildings, and they set down a historic building on fire. Why on earth would you tell these people we're going to lay down our weapons and do nothing? They're idiots. They're absolute idiots. It's crazy. But anyway, maybe you're experiencing some of the same things, and you're looking for somewhere that is safer. That was one of my primary reasons for moving. My other reasons were I wanted to go somewhere that had a better future. And the way that I determined the state Tennessee had a better future was not just the safety aspect, but also because it was financially stable. Tennessee has a state budget that year after year is positive or breaks even. Almost all the states in the country run deficits every single year. And what's crazy is Tennessee, depending on the tax brackets you're in, has the lowest taxes of any state. Lower than anywhere. It's like 9-something% tax burden total. It's someplace, that's the high end. I think like the low end, it's like 5-something% tax burden. But anyway, my point is that this state, Tennessee, if you are financially and fiscally responsible, you don't have to worry about your liabilities being unfunded. If you have roads that need built, if you have police forces that need funded, if you have schools that need teachers, all of your basics, your bread and butter, you'll be able to pay for them no matter how bad the times get, or at least you won't be as bad off as other states such as California or New York, etc., that have super deficits when it comes time to pay the people they have to, right? Along with, pension funds, etc. So the way I see it is that this state, let's say we go into an economic, recession, which a lot of people say we already have, or we even end up in a depression, you can rely pretty well that all the retirees in the state are going to continue getting their money that they need, and it'll keep the economy here more stable than the rest of the economies in each state. Not to say it'll be perfect. Also, with the taxes being so low here, the prices of everything are lower. That also helps a lot. So it all is kind of like spread out, whenever you lay a bunch of taxes on citizens, it makes everything go up in price. Other reasons I really like Tennessee is it is very energy secure. Something else you should think about when you go to look at somewhere to go. Tennessee has every form, I think, of electricity generation aside from like geothermal. They have nuclear, they have dams, they have coal, they have gas facilities, they have them all over the state. And Tennessee Valley Authority, they run the whole show. They do a pretty good job. But other than that, no matter what happens, you can have a pretty strong assurance that they will find some way to get you energy to where it is that you're living, which is phenomenal. So those are some of my big reasons. The others are some of the other, maybe not as, how do I put this? They're not the things people would think of right away, but they're very important in an emergency scenario. Tennessee is very defensible. Tennessee is pretty much mountain country. It's the whole area. You got the Great Smokies that are on the eastern side of Tennessee, and all throughout most of the state, it's very, it's funny, everyone here in Tennessee, they call them hills. Every time I drive by them, they look like mountains to me. And it would make it very, very hard for someone to try to, let's say, invade the state or try to, subdue the state's course, do whatever it is that someone with a lot of, military power wanted. So that's one. And then it's also, because of the mountains, it makes a lot of areas pretty rural. There's a couple cities in Tennessee, which some of them are all right. But if you want to be left alone and you don't want to have to worry, even if, if there was a bunch of refugees, let's say, that came here, it could be anything, You've got people pouring across the southern border, fleeing from wherever it is they're coming from, their failed states, their failed countries. You've got, the war over Europe that's going on. Those people, I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future the United States started accepting refugees from the, Ukraine to come over here into the United States and live everywhere. But the idea is that here in Tennessee you have, you know, at least you can get some space for people, and you can live, you know, out in the hills and stuff like that, like I do, and be a little more buffered from everyone. It's just a little more inconvenient for someone to come bother you if they want to. And then on top of that, as far as other things to think about for security, is Tennessee does have a pretty strong agricultural, you know, economy. The whole western half of the state, out past Nashville, and then, you know, Memphis, it's mostly farm fields, etc. And then everything over kind of in these hillier areas, you have a lot of cattle, which they can, you know, maneuver on different elevations and stuff, and it's good for them, makes them stronger. But yeah, those are some of the reasons that I decided to move, and just to be prepared and be more resilient for what I would believe to be just a little rockier road in the future for the United States, economically, you know, or otherwise. Who knows? I mean, I don't think, you know, 2-3 years ago anyone would have said that there could be anything that would happen in the United States that would really make everyone feel as unsafe as they did. So those are some ideas, and I can come out with a more extensive list. I have a very long list of reasons why I wanted to move here, way longer than just what I had listed in this video. But maybe you are interested in, you know, finding somewhere else to live that you just feel a little better, or you just kind of looking for something different. If you do, drop some comments, ask some questions. I can help trying to answer best that I can, and we'll maybe do another video if it's necessary. Other than that, thanks everyone. Appreciate you watching the video this far. Please like and subscribe if you would. All right, bye.